The hall was finally quiet. A few hours earlier, it had been full of sound. Music had filled every corner. Voices, instruments, footsteps, and applause had all mixed together like waves in the air. But now, everything felt different. The lights were dim. The seats were empty. The stage stood still, like it was taking a long breath after a busy day. At the back of the hall, a woman pushed a cleaning cart slowly across the floor. The wheels made a soft sound, almost like they did not want to disturb the silence. She worked carefully, wiping seats, picking up small pieces of paper, straightening what others had left behind. This was her daily routine. She knew the hall well. It never truly felt like her place. A few steps behind her walked her daughter. The girl was small for her age. Her clothes were simple and a little worn, but clean. Her hair was tied back neatly, just the way her mother liked it. She did not speak much. She never did. Instead, she watched. She noticed things other people missed. Her eyes kept drifting toward. The stage in the center of that stage stood the grand piano. It was large and black, shining softly under the lights. Even when no one was playing it, the piano seemed important, like it was waiting. The girl had seen it many times before, but she had never been close to it, never touched it. She had only watched from a distance, holding her breath, imagining what it might feel like to sit there. Her mother noticed her gaze and gave a gentle warning look. "Stay close," her eyes seemed to say. "Don't touch anything." The girl nodded. She always did. The woman kept cleaning. Her hands moved out of habit. She was tired, but she did not complain. This job paid for food, for rent, for school supplies. It was not easy, but it was honest. She believed in working quietly and not causing trouble. She believed that people like them should stay invisible. The girl followed, step by step. As they moved closer to the stage, the girl's heart began to beat faster. She did not know why. She had felt this feeling before, but only here, only near music. Her mother finished the last row of seats and looked around. The hall was empty now. The famous artists had already left. Their laughter and voices were gone. Only the echo of the day remained. "Wait here," the woman said softly, pointing near the wall. "I'll just finish the floor." The girl sat down as told. She folded her hands in her lap. She tried to be still, but the piano was so close now. She could see the keys clearly. White and black, lined up perfectly. They looked like a path she had dreamed of walking. Even though she did not know how, she remembered the first time she heard music. It had been years ago, through a window. Someone had been practicing late at night. The sound had floated into the street where she stood beside her mother. That sound had stayed with her. It had followed her home. It had followed her into sleep since then. She listened whenever she could. She listened from doorways, from hallways, from behind walls. She did not know the names of the notes. She did not know the rules, but she felt the music in her chest, like a quiet friend. Her mother's back was turned now. The girl stood up slowly. She took one step forward. Then another. Her hands felt warm. Her mouth felt dry. She was not trying to break rules. She just wanted to be closer. Just for a moment, she climbed the short steps to the stage. Each step felt louder than the last, even though they made no sound. Her heart was racing now. She told herself she would stop. She told herself she would only look, but her feet carried her forward. She stood in front of the piano up close. It felt even bigger. The surface reflected her face. She looked at her own reflection, unsure. She had never seen herself there before. She lifted her hand. Her fingers hovered over the keys. She hesitated. A voice inside her told her to stop. Another voice, softer but stronger, told her to try. She pressed one key. The sound was quiet, almost shy, but it filled the space around her. She froze. Nothing happened. No one shouted. No one came running. She pressed another key, then another. Slowly, carefully, she began to play. The melody was simple. It was not perfect, but it was honest. Each note came from memory, from listening, from feeling. The music flowed the way her thoughts did, gently and without force. She forgot where she was. She forgot the hall. She forgot the rules. She forgot the fear. All she felt was the music moving through her hands. Outside the hall, a few people were still nearby. Some had forgotten things. Some were talking as they walked away. One of them paused. "Do you hear that?" Someone asked. Another person stopped. Then another. They followed the sound back inside. At first they thought it was a recording. Then they realized it was live. They stood near the entrance, confused. This was not part of the schedule. The hall was supposed to be empty. They walked in quietly. The girl kept playing. Her mother turned around. She saw her daughter on the stage. Her breath caught in her throat. Fear rushed through her. Fear of rules broken. Fear of losing her job. Fear of being judged. She started toward the stage, ready to stop everything. Then she heard the music. She stopped walking. Her hands trembled. She had never heard her daughter play before. She did not even know her daughter could play. She had seen the girl listening, dreaming, but this was something else. The woman felt tears in her eyes. She did not move. More people entered the hall. They recognized the sound. They recognized the feeling. These were people who had spent their lives with music. They knew when something was ordinary, and they knew when something was rare. They stood still. No one spoke. The girl reached the end of the melody and let her hands rest on the keys. The last note faded into the air. She looked up. That was when she saw them. People stood everywhere. Near the doors, between the seats, along the walls. Their faces were serious, focused, quiet. Her heart dropped. She thought she was in trouble. She slowly stood up from the bench. Her eyes searched for her mother. When she saw her, she felt a little calmer, but only a little. The hall stayed silent. The moment felt heavy, like the air itself was holding its breath. And then, somewhere in that silence, someone took one step forward. The girl did not know what would happen next, and neither did anyone else. The silence did not break right away. The girl stood near the piano, her hands hanging by her sides. Her shoulders were tight. Her eyes moved from one face to another, trying to understand what she was seeing. These were not ordinary people. Even she could feel it. There was something serious about the way they stood, the way they listened. Her mother finally stepped forward. She walked slowly, her shoes making small sounds on the floor that felt too loud in the quiet hall. Her heart was beating fast. She wanted to protect her child. She wanted to apologize. She wanted to take her daughter's hand and leave before something bad could happen. "I'm sorry," the woman said softly, her voice shaking. She didn't mean to disturb anything. We were just finishing our work. Her words floated in the air, but no one replied right away. The girl looked down. She felt ashamed. She thought she had done something wrong. Her fingers curled into her palms. The piano bench suddenly felt far away, like a place she was not allowed to be. Then, someone clapped. It was just one clap at first. Slow, clear, everyone turned toward the sound. A tall figure near the front had brought their hands together once. Then again, the sound echoed gently through the hall. Soon, another person joined. Then another. The applause did not rush in. It grew slowly, like a wave finding its strength. It was not loud, but it was deep, honest. The girl looked up confused. Her mother froze. Tears filled her eyes before she could stop them. The applause ended, and the hall returned to quiet. But it was a different kind of quiet now, a warmer one. One of the artists stepped forward. Their voice was calm and respectful. "Did you learn that piece somewhere?" they asked the girl gently. The girl shook her head. "No," she said quietly. "Did someone teach you?" Another voice asked. She shook her head again. "I just listened," she said. "A lot." The people exchanged looks. Not surprised looks. Thoughtful ones. The girl's mother spoke again, her voice low. "She's never had lessons. We couldn't afford them. She just listens when she can." No one judged her. No one looked away. One of the artists knelt slightly so they were closer to the girl's height. "Do you know what you played?" they asked. The girl thought for a moment. She searched for the right words. "I don't know the name," she said. "It's just how it feels inside." That answer stayed in the room for a long moment. The artist smiled, not with pride, but with respect. "That's how music begins," they said. Another person stepped forward, older, with kind eyes that had seen many stages and many faces. "You were not playing notes," they said softly. "You were telling a story." The girl did not fully understand, but she felt something warm spread through her chest. For the first time, she did not feel small on that stage. Her mother wiped her tears quickly, embarrassed by them, but no one made her feel ashamed. "What happens now?" the woman asked carefully. "We should probably go." One of the artists shook their head. "No," they said gently. "You should stay. Both of you." They talked quietly among themselves for a few moments. The girl stood still, holding her mother's hand now. She could feel her mother's grip, tight but loving. Then one of them spoke again. "There is a place where young people can learn music," they said. "A place that supports talent no matter where it comes from." The woman's eyes widened. She did not want to hope too much. Hope had disappointed her before. "We can't pay," she said quickly. "I don't want special treatment." The response was calm and clear. "This is not charity," the artist said. "This is opportunity." The girl looked up at her mother. She did not say anything, but her eyes were full of questions and dreams. She had never dared to speak out loud. The woman took a deep breath. She thought about long days of work, about quiet sacrifices, about dreams she had put away so her child could have more than she did. She nodded. The hall slowly began to empty again, but the feeling stayed. Something important had happened there, something none of them would forget. Before they left, the girl looked back at the piano one last time. This time, she did not feel afraid. In the days that followed, life did not suddenly become easy. The mother still worked long hours. The girl still did her homework at the kitchen table. The bus rides were long. The mornings were early, but something had changed. The girl now practiced every chance she got. At first, the piano keys felt strange under her fingers in new rooms. The teacher spoke kindly but clearly. They corrected her. They guided her. They did not treat her like a miracle. They treated her like a student, and she loved that. Some days were hard. Some notes refused to come out right. Some lessons ended in quiet frustration. But she did not give up. She remembered the feeling of that empty hall, the silence before the applause, the way the music had carried her fear away. Her mother watched from the sidelines, pride and worry mixed together. She still cleaned halls like that one. But now, when she looked at her daughter, she saw a future she had never imagined. One evening, after a long practice session, the girl asked a simple question. "Do you think I belong there?" she asked. Her mother did not answer right away. She knelt down and looked her daughter in the eyes. "You belong wherever your effort takes you," she said. "Never doubt that." Years would pass. The girl would grow taller, stronger, more confident. Music would shape her days, not as an escape, but as a voice. But none of that mattered as much as the lesson learned that night. That talent can come from quiet places. That dignity lives in every honest job. And that sometimes, all it takes is one brave moment to be seen. The Grand Hall would host many performances after that, but long after the lights changed, the chairs were filled again. The memory of a small girl touching a piano for the first time would still live there, soft, steady, and impossible to forget.